Hey guys, it's Robert here for Basketball Zone. Just coming off this Raptor win here over the New York Knicks without Scottie Barnes, without Utah, without Siakam against the top team in the East. Now I'm a New York guy. I'm from New York, but I was really pulling for the Raptors here tonight, and here are my 5 takeaways. Number 1, OG Anunoby. Now, we walked into this season saying OG Anunoby was a leading candidate for the most improved player, and then he put up 2 stinkers to open the season, and everyone went, nah, it's not going to happen. Well, it's happening, and he comes up with a career high at the Madison Square Garden, at the mecca of basketball. That's onions. That's pressure, all right? And he showed up big. He held. And you know what the most impressive thing about OG is? He hasn't slipped on D. I've been a little bit critical of his defense the last couple of games. He gambles a little bit. He misses rotations. He hasn't been OG of a couple years ago. But guys, it's not easy to play 40 minutes a night and guard the best player a load in Julius Randle on one end, and then give the Knicks the business and 36 points, efficient 36 points on the other end. Kudos to OG Anunoby. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind who gets the game ball tonight. Now, number 2, there was a little bit of a rotation shuffle at halftime, and we saw that Khem Birch, for the first time, started the second half in place of Precious Achiuwa. And I, for one, am saying thank effing God that this happened, because Precious Achiuwa has been absolutely abysmal for the Raptors so far. Now, I understand that everyone is really high and he's 22 years old and we want to give this kid some run and we want to get him developed. But at some point, you got to realize, frankly, as athletic as he is, he's just not very good at basketball right now. And I know that sounds like I'm hating. I'm not hating. I'm just telling you that he hasn't met a shot that he doesn't like. All right. He can't make a pass without projecting it 15 seconds ahead. And frankly, he's turnover prone. All of this would be a little bit more forgivable if he wasn't constantly out of place on defense. So I, for one, am very happy that Nick Nurse went with the right player, frankly. And it's Fred VanVleet alluded to this a couple of days ago in his interview, where he said Khem's kind of a starter who's coming off the bench, and it's kind of the writing was on the wall. And Precious Achiuwa's had a very long leash because he's the prize acquisition in the Kyle Lowry trade, and they really wanted to make this whole, we didn't lose Kyle for nothing thing. And now you're seeing Precious probably benched, hopefully, starting the next game, and Dragic out of the rotation. So in a weird way, you kind of did get nothing for Kyle Lowry, but I'm not souring on him yet completely. He is a young player. He is 22 years old. He needs some run. I would like to see him come off the bench. Khem Birch has been amazing for the Raptors. He sets picks. This is a very underrated part of basketball. Screen assists are not recorded in box scores, but they do matter. They free up your shooters. He's always in the right place. He's a really good defender. He has better touch around the basket. He's not missing 15 layups every single night. And just quite frankly, he's just a bigger body. He's a little bit stronger. I don't think you're as much as a size, even though they're the same height, pretty much the same weight. He just carries his weight a little bit better as a 28-year-old veteran, so I really love that. Now, point number 3, how underrated is Svi? Wow, who saw this coming? I'm a fan of Svi, all right? As we affectionately call him here in Canada, Splash Bandicoot, which is probably my favorite nickname. Svi's been amazing. All right, I did a post about him I did a post about him yesterday where I was, referencing just his advanced stats. He's the number 1 in PER on the team. He's the number 1 in box plus minus, number 1 in true shooting percentage. And he got the start tonight in place of Scottie Barnes, who was injured, and he balled out. Also, high pressure situation. This is a guy who's on a proven contract. He's got a player option for the next year, and he's amazing. Like, he's a really good player. I don't want to jump into the hyperbole train. It is 7 games into the season, but he's looked great, and he hasn't looked that great. That's the crazy part of looking at these stats. He hasn't been that great. I mean, he's had high turnover rate. His turnover percentage is the exact same thing as Fred VanVleet, which is pretty inexcusable given how much Fred VanVleet handles the ball. But he's been a hawk on defense. He's shown himself to be a very capable passer. The offense just moves really well with him, and that was the biggest worry going in tonight, is how was the offense going to look without Scottie Barnes? And thanks to Svi, it didn't look that bad. In fact, it looked pretty great. Number 4, wow, this is, yeah. I wrote an article this summer talking about why this Gary Trent contract would be a disaster. And so far, 7 games in, I'm wrong. I'm just flat out wrong. Yeah, his shot hasn't fallen. Tonight it fell. He had a pretty decent game tonight. We're kind of at a point now where if Gary Trent just does not shoot in the 30% range, like, it's a pretty decent game. And it's fair. One, he's also 22, just like Precious Achiuwa. But on the other side, he's hustling his butt off on defense. He's leading. He's one of the 2 leaders in the league in deflections. Not a stat that I care too much about, by the way. But when you see it on the eye test, he is a pest on defense. He's constantly making it harder for opponents to make passes. He's getting in passing lanes. He's pressuring the ball. He's just worked his tail off. And you know what? At some point, I just have to override the fact that, yeah, he does have some bad habits. Yes, he's a streaky shooter. Yes, he has questionable shooting shot selection, but he's worked his tail off. And respect, like, just straight up respect. My 5th takeaway of the night is this team legit? Was this for real? Did I just watch this? Did I just watch them manhandle the New York Knicks? I mean, I'm not thinking, first of all, I think the question to ask is, are the New York Knicks for real? Because I think that 5-1 start is a little bit misleading, and I don't think that they're necessarily that good. Just like I didn't think the Chicago Bulls were 4-0 good. But at the same time, the Raptors just played tonight with, in my opinion, without 2 of their 3 best players. Scottie Barnes was out, probably leading candidate for Rookie of the Year so far, averaging 18 and 9 in a very slow-paced offense. I mean, this is crazy production. And they're missing Pascal Siakam, right? Who's probably an all-star this year if he was healthy. So, you're missing these 2 guys. You're playing guys like Justin Champagnie. You're playing Svi Mykhailiuk 35 minutes. You're riding OG for 40 minutes. You're riding Gary Trent Jr. for 42 minutes. And you're winning. How the heck are you winning? I think there's a very special thing happening in Toronto here. This is the 6th youngest team in the league. Goran Dragic, who is your oldest player at 35, isn't even playing. So really, this might be like the 2nd youngest team. I haven't done the math, but this might be the 2nd youngest team in the league, and they're winning now. And I would argue that if you just take Precious Achiuwa out of the lineup, this team might actually not have lost a single game this year. I'm not even stretching it when I say that. This guy has killed them, and he's had such a long leash. So this team might be for real. And I will argue that when Yuta Watanabe comes back, and when Pascal Siakam comes back, and when Scottie Barnes comes back, one, a lot of these guys playing 42, 43 minutes tonight, they're going to settle back down to 33 minutes, right? Guys like Malachi Flynn, Delano Banton, these guys might not have much as big a role on the team. And you know what? If we get to the All-Star break and we're sitting pretty, and there is a chance, and I think the fact that Scottie Barnes has shown that he is NBA ready and he's a contributor and he's this good this fast, it does accelerate whatever timeline you were thinking about. So if he's this good this early, and OG is taking a step, and Fred is for real, and Pascal is back to his all-star form, then I would say you have about $26 million expiring contracts and about 2 future firsts to fill in that center spot. And if you can do that, this might be a contender this year. So is this team for real? Let us know in the comments below. I don't know if this team's for real. I had them 7th in preseason, as in my projections. I might have to update that, but I like what I saw tonight against the New York Knicks. Let us know in the comments below. Hit subscribe, hit that share button. It helps the algorithm. It helps this video get out there. And keep supporting the Raptors. Keep supporting your future Rookie of the Year, Scottie Barnes. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery. Peace.